From Brigham Young University's Maxwell Institute, this is the Maxwell Institute Podcast, Faith Illuminating Scholarship. In 2026, we are releasing a series called Old Testament Reflections. Each week, a scholar offers a short reflection on the Come Follow Me reading. Today's piece, As I Was with Moses. The Book of Joshua and Filling Prophetic Shoes is written and read by Scott Esplin.
Imagine the pressure Joshua felt to succeed Moses, the deliverer of Israel, the great lawgiver. The book of Numbers called Moses very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth, Numbers 12:3. While Deuteronomy concluded, There arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, Deuteronomy 34:10. In both of these tributes to Moses, the biblical author introduces a comparison, first between Moses and mankind, and later between others with the prophetic mantle. And yet, comparison can be the thief of joy, as former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly warned. So how did Joshua avoid the debilitating effects of comparison? How might we do the same when tempted to think we can't possibly fill the large shoes left by a predecessor? Possibly sensing the success and challenge ahead, Moses wisely called Joshua to him, counseling, Be strong and of a good courage, and the Lord, He it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Deuteronomy 31:7-8. Since relying on the Lord with unshaken faith allowed Moses to successfully lead the children of Israel, he was anxious to convey this guidance to his successor. Years earlier, the children of Israel learned that failure by a leader could lead to failure of the people. In that instance, Jethro wisely counseled his son-in-law Moses regarding effective leadership. See Exodus 18:17-18. As if to allay any uncertainty in their new leader, the children of Israel likewise encouraged Joshua after he succeeded Moses. Seeking to sustain him, they pledged, All that thou commandest us, we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee. Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Only be strong and of a good courage. Joshua 1:16-18. In the beginning of the book of Joshua, the Lord gave the same counsel to his new prophet. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, he promised. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. He further reemphasized Moses' direction to Joshua. Be strong and of a good courage. Only be thou strong and very courageous. Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Joshua 1:5-9. The traits of strength and courage, coupled with unwavering faith in God's aid, guided Joshua to conquer any fear and dismay that could have derailed both him and Israel as they entered the Promised Land. Indeed, the book of Joshua is a record of God keeping his promise to be with his prophet and people. Repeatedly, the book emphasizes parallels between Moses and his successor, demonstrating God's guiding both men. Early in the text, God repeated the miraculous parting of water he performed for Moses by causing the river Jordan to rise up upon an heap until all the Israelites passed over on dry ground. Joshua 3:16-17. In doing so, God magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. Joshua 3:7. Later, when visited by the captain of the Lord's host, Joshua was commanded, like Moses before him, to loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua, like Moses before him, did so. Joshua 5:15. For both men, God was instrumental in providing miraculous military victories. See Exodus 17 and Joshua 6. And through both men, God demonstrated power over the sun. See Exodus 10 and Joshua 10. God kept his promise to be with Joshua, just as he had been with Moses. Parallels like these, demonstrating God's consistency, may be different from imperfect human comparisons. Whereas parallels help us recognize God's hand, comparisons between us and others can be debilitating. In a BYU devotional, Professor J.B. Hawes observed that comparisons can fuel envying and coveting, or self-loathing and the paralysis of inaction. President Dieter F. Uchtdorf likewise cautioned, We spend so much time and energy comparing ourselves to others, usually comparing our weaknesses to their strengths. This drives us to create expectations for ourselves that are impossible to meet. As a result, we never celebrate our good efforts because they seem to be less than what someone else does. Scriptural records preserve accounts of what God has done for his children, with the promise that because he is the same yesterday, today, and forever, he can do the same for us. This lesson strengthened Joshua in his role in God's plan, just as it can strengthen us in ours, helping every one of us succeed. The application of eternal truth and divine aid, made available to all of God's children, may be at the heart of the difference between parallels and comparisons. President Jeffrey R. Holland concluded, "God cheers on every runner, calling out that the race is against sin, not against each other. I know that if we will be faithful, there is a perfectly tailored robe of righteousness, ready and waiting for everyone. Robes made white in the blood of the Lamb." While God's power was with Moses and Joshua, as the Bible records, they also each had unique strengths and ultimately different missions. And so too do each of us, whenever we are called to succeed someone in God's service. With faith in God, we bring our individual strengths to our assigned missions.
You've been listening to Old Testament Reflections from the Maxwell Institute. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts, and find more scholarship and reflections at mi.byu.edu. Thanks for listening.